Hey guys, JK Wargames, and today we're going to do a review of Warfighter Shadow War, the modern night combat card game. So before we start, I have to say a massive thanks to Sarah and Dan at DVG Games for sending this to the channel for review. Also, JK Wargames is now on Patreon, so if you feel like you want to support the channel, the link is in the description. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so Shadow War. This is the night version of Warfighter. So basically, you're going to take your troops and work your way through like you do in the normal Warfighter series, but it is set at night and you need to be stealthy to achieve your mission. So this plays very different to normal Warfighter. So there are a lot more rules added onto this, but it's a really unique system. So what I'm going to do is just take you through how the main mechanics work of the game, and we'll set up a little mission and I'll just explain a few things. So on the board here you can see this noise level track. Now this is a big part of the game. Basically, whenever your soldiers perform an action, so moving or firing, their noise level increases, it goes up, and basically you want to keep this noise level as low as possible, because once it gets to the top, the enemy will be going for the alarm, or they'll be sounding the alarm, and that's when things really kick off and you'll struggle to complete your mission. So when a soldier moves, he creates he has to roll a shadows roll, sorry. So let's take this soldier here, who is Joe Harper, which is an awesome name, by the way. So we have Joe Harper, and you can see there on the card on the right hand side, it says Shadows 6+, so you'd need a 6+. So he's used an action to move, you then roll, we rolled a 6, so he doesn't make any noise. So if you pass your shadow roll, you don't make any noise. If we had failed that roll, we'd make one noise. And then, if any enemies were on the board, we'd roll on the chart. So at the moment, a 1 or less would mean that an enemy would pause. But the higher we get up, the more chance that an enemy is going to hear us. So this is a really nice little thing, and it really pays to be stealthy on this, because the first couple of missions I've played have not been good, I'll admit. So let's come back over here. So as you can see here, the loadout I have going on here is, I have Joe Harper, and he's got a health of 7, so he gets 7 action cards. His loadout is 10, and he's got Shadows, Patience, Marksman, and he gets Night Goggles. Now Night Goggles are important in this because, as you see here, it says once each soldier turn, pay 1 action XP or discard 1 action card to either perform a reveal, so you can reveal what the enemies are because they come in unrevealed, or you can ignore entrance penalties this turn. Now I normally use these for entrance penalties because you'll see here on a location card, like a normal location card you get in Warfighter, it's got its entrance cost of 4, but because it's at night, it's got +4. So if you don't use the Night Goggles, you're going to be paying, you need an 8 to get into there. So using the Night Goggles negates that +4 there. Again, you would have your mission card. So for this mission here, mount up, we have a resource points of 69. The time we have is 10 turns. The objective is put in space 5, and we have a -1 on our loadout. And these numbers here on the side are once the enemy turn has been, we can reduce the noise level by this much. And confusion is when the alarm is sounded, you can reduce the noise by that much, because there is confusion going on, the enemies aren't sure what's happening. And at the very bottom of that mission card, it says must use vehicle, insurgent and extraction. So, new for Shadow War, is an insertion card. So you have to play these in the mission, and they go in the first space, and you can see here it says add 1 to hostile values of the locations and the objective. Then at the very last space, once you complete your objective, if you complete your objective, you have an extraction card, and you can see here it says keep clear for 2 turns. So your guys would move into the extraction point, and they have to keep that clear from enemies for 2 turns. There's lots of different ones, but I'm just showing you these examples. And once you've completed that mission, regardless of where your guys are on the locations, they can all jump to that extraction the minute the objective's complete. So let's have a look at a turn. Okay guys, so let's just have a little look at how this works. So the first thing we do is draw our action cards. We've drawn 7 because our player soldier has a health of 7. Now, in here we have location marker, so we have to discard that and we can pull a location card. And for us, it's an open lot, and you can see it costs 1 action and 1 XP to play. So we put that in, and we're going to use 1 action. Let's flip that back over. We're going to use 1 action to play that. And then our sniper down here, which you can't see, he's going to use 1 of his XPs to play that as well. Now, for this mission, we have 69 resource. So a 50 to 74, well, up here, a 50 to 74, we have to draw 2 points worth of hostiles. So the first card you can see is a 1. And then the next card is a 1, so that's 2, so we stop drawing. Now, when you first bring those in, you put one of these counters on there, and it is an unaware counter, like that. The enemy are unaware, they don't know where you are, and they have not been alerted yet. So we go like that. So now we can start using actions with our guys. So what we'll do is we'll actually move our captain here into the location. Now he has a cost of 3 to move in there, but it costs 4, and then +4 for night. So he's going to discard 1 card to use night goggles. So he's using the night goggles to negate the +4, and then he is discarding 1 more card to be able to get into the location. So he moves into the location. Now because he's moved, he needs to make a shadow roll, but because he's not a player soldier, he doesn't have a shadow roll, so noise goes up by 1. So on a 1 or less, one of these guys might hear us, and we roll a 10, so we're absolutely fine. Now, the other thing, he's used 1 action to go in. The other thing he could do, if he hadn't used this, if he hadn't used night goggles to get into here, just for this example, he could use this to reveal one of these cards. So let's just say he's done that, because I'm not playing the whole turn, I'm just showing you how things work. So he's used that to reveal a card. So we can flip this card of our choice, and you can see it's Fanatics. So we can evade them for 3 XP, they go for the alarm in 2, and they're fearless. So we lay that down, they are still unaware, they don't know of our presence. So for our second action, we're going to shoot at these guys. Now this is where a cool feature comes in. We get to pull one of these tokens out of here, say tokens, counter, because they are unaware. And we've pulled this, look. Get it to focus. Killed in action. Enemy killed in action, no reload. So the enemy get a killed in action counter. So we've taken care of one of those. So that was an action to shoot. His second action, he's going to shoot again, so he gets to pull another one of these. This time it's +3 let's focus, +3 and +0. So he gets +3 on his attack, but he doesn't get any modifiers on his cover roll. So at this range, he has an M4 carbine. At this range, at range 0, he needs a 6, and on a 2 or less will be a reload. I'll explain this in a minute. I'll explain what ammo he's using as well. So he needs a 6, and we need to beat his cover, but his cover's a 0, so that's fine. So we roll the dice, we rolled a 9, and we rolled a 6. That kills that enemy. That put another counter on there. There's only 2, so they're gone. We'd gained 1 XP. So they are out. Now because of that shot, we have made some noise, so we need to roll. We need to push the noise counter up. Now, normally, a normal weapon with normal ammo will make 10 noise. That's a lot of noise. But if you purchase these, a black ammo like this reduces noise. This reduces it to 5. So it's only 5, and then on your weapon card, you have a 3. This weapon has a suppressed noise -3. So 5, take away the 3. Using this ammo, we only make 2 noise. So it goes up by 2, and then it tells me. So on a 3 or less, we will make the enemy could hear us, and we roll an 8, so we're fine. But let's say that we rolled a 2. We rolled a 2, 3 or less. The enemy changed from unaware to pauses. So you flip the counter and it says pauses. So basically the enemy kind of pause and think, oh, what was that? What's going on? It's not too bad, but if you get 2 pauses, then the enemy will be going for an alarm, which isn't good. So we've done that. We'd move on to our next soldier. He might take a shot, cause some more noise, etc. But let's set up this situation here. So let's say they're revealed. We have an enemy here that's revealed. Now, let's say we take a shot here at this guy, okay, with one of our soldiers. Again, just an example. We take a shot at this guy. We hit with our attack roll, but we miss with our cover roll. Not good. On the chart here, a hit and then a fail on the cover roll is going for alarm. So you put a going for alarm counter on the card, like this, going for alarm. And this means that in 2 actions, that enemy will sound the alarm. So we put that on the track over here. So you can see here, and when we perform an action, they'll move that up, another action, and the alarm is sounded. So it's not good. So let's say we moved, we took another couple of shots, we couldn't wipe out the enemy. This is where the tension is, that you want to wipe out that card before they can get to the alarm. But let's say we use 2 actions and they do get to the alarm. Then this counter goes on alert, and there is confusion, and you can reduce the noise counter by 14 for this mission. So let's say it was up all the way up here, we come right back down 14. But now the enemies are alerted, so we get these alerted counters. So you put 1 in the mission card, and to start with you put 1 to the right. Now, next turn, if there's a location here, you're going to put 1 in there until you get to your objective. So basically the alarm is sounded, and for every step of the mission, the guards, they know you're there. So the going for alarm comes off. These enemies are now treated as aware. They know you're there, and they're going to shoot at you in their turn. So normally in a hostile's turn, if they're unaware, the only thing that happens is that you'd roll a reinforcement roll and you add it to the card's value. So a 1 plus the 2 that you can't see up there would make 3. If that falls in the category of that location, you draw a card. Then, in the hostile turn, when they're unaware, you roll a dice and you look at the yellow numbers in the black box. If you roll a 2 to a 9, they stay where they are. If you roll less than a 2, they go 1 to the left. And if you roll more than a 9, they go to the right. And that's all you do. And then the search numbers here, that's what the noise goes up by. So that's 0 and that's 1. So if you're at range 0, the noise goes up by 3. They're searching for you. So that's unaware, but now these guys are aware, they just attack you. So you would draw your counters from a cup. Who are they going to attack? They attack number 2. He does his attacks. We see what damage they cause on us, etc. So that is the basics of the game. So basically, if the alarm sounded like this, then we've done a really bad job. You want to stay quiet for most of the mission. So you really need to pick your shots. If you're at range 0, unless you have a sniper rifle, make sure you're using black ammo or subsonic ammo, I think it's called, to really keep that noise down. So it's all about keeping that noise down. As I say, once that alarm goes, you're in trouble. You can still achieve the mission, but just, you know, you can't creep by, you can't get through. So that is how the basics work. There's lots of cards and equipment and objectives that come with this game. These are all objectives. There's loads here. You get plenty of player soldiers. I've seen some reviews say that you didn't get many, but there's loads here. Sorry, not just player soldiers, your soldiers in general. And then you get all your tactical cards, your equipment. So you've got your equipment cards here, like night sight, Kevlar vests, suppressors, all these things to help you. So my thoughts on this game are it's unique, it's fantastic. I love Warfighter, and this brings it to a new level. I really enjoy that tension of, okay, how do I keep the noise down? How am I going to achieve this mission? I've played about 5 missions and I've won 2. The other 3 have gone awful. Because once that alarm goes, then there's just enemies shooting at you. You're trying to, you know, do what you can, but you can imagine that happening. You know, you're trying to be stealthy, but then all of a sudden you get spotted and there's bullets flying all over the place and guys diving all around the battlefield. And I think this portrays that really well. Again, quality cards and quality counters from DVG. Really impressed with it. The board's fantastic. A lot of green here, but I like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this little review of Warfighter Shadow War. If you're into the Warfighter series, then this is definitely one to pick up. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.